Morning! We're at a Hitachi that doesn't move. But it does now. It's got this X-Watch system on it, and someone's been playing with buttons.
Yours not working.
But the grab isn't working, which is now to do with the X-Watch. So as I was saying, this has got an X-Watch system, so it has like a height restrictor, slew restrictor, dig restrictor. It's got everything on it, and basically the machine wouldn't move. There's a key switch in the back of the radiator bay which you can override it. As you can see, it's override, and it's all working now apart from the grab won't open and close or rotate. So my assumption is somebody's changed a setting in trying to get this working yesterday, but it won't work now no matter what we do. I've had the operator tell us to, that switch there should be in that position for it to work. But it didn't. Been on the phone to a fella that might have had an idea, but he didn't. So checked all the fuses, they're okay. While I've been doing that, I've isolated it. Maybe the old reset might work. This is that X-Watch box. That's the override. That was in that position. Then X-Watch something or other here as well, look. Fuses. I think the X-Watch will have anything to do with the attachment working or not, will it? I absolutely do not know. See if it works now that I've turned it off for a bit. Okay, so turning it off and on again while I checked the fuses had no effect. When I put the pilot lever up, I can slew, I can arm out, I can arm in, I can boom up, I can boom down. What else can I do? Empty the bucket, fill the bucket, track forward, track backwards. If I do that, that works. But I rock these thumb wheels here, it's as though the machine can't see them. Presumably there should be like a I don't know, a menu you can set your attachment up. Attachment number 4. Priority. What does that mean, priority? I don't know. I don't want to change loads of settings and not know what I'm doing. Adjustment. Operation sensitivity. Let's have that all the way maxed out. No, still nothing. That's your auto decel button. That's the horn. Nothing. Mode, what does that mode do? Is that for your aircon? I think that might be for aircon. It's a nice screen to navigate. Anyway, I had a look through the operator manual, but it's all just stuff on what to do when you need to do a region and stuff like that. So they've got this very good QR code. If you put the plant number in, it gives you the operator's manual. See? So I'm going to do what all operators do when they get a new machine. I'm going to read it. I'm reading through the operator manual now, but the screen that it's showing on here, it's not identical to that screen. It's like a older model look. Rotate selector knob to highlight attachment adjustment 6. Attachment adjustment. There's no attachment adjustment. Press that down. Attachment. Just gives me my selection of attachments, which is that one. No, it's not. Apparently it was on pulverizer. I know it's not a pulverizer, okay? But I don't know if that's the problem. I select that. And if I go to, presumably this is now the attachment adjustment. I think these Hitachis is like electric over hydraulics or something, because you can change, yeah, you can change how the whole thing behaves. You can customize it, whereas on a Doosan it's all Allen keys and 13mm spanners to do anything like that, which is probably a good thing. But attachment operation sensitivity, there's nothing to enable thumb wheel operation or enable foot pedal operation, is there, like there is on a Doosan? I can't work it out. Apparently that's the switch there that I need to have selected, but does that one do? Oh, you absolute pillar. Oh my god. Someone's pressed that button. Sweet baby Jesus. I'll tell you what. I was fairly impressed by all the little stickers and decals on that machine. So, you've got the quick reference operator handbook that's cable tied to that bar that runs across the inside of the cabin. Laminated, cable tied to it, so you've got a quick reference. If you get a warning light come up or an AdBlue light come up, you've got a quick reference there to know what it is and what it means, which is very good. And then they had that QR code, so you could scan the QR code with your phone and then put the plant number in, and it downloads you the operator's manual onto your phone, so you can read through it and navigate. You know, if you'd never been in a Hitachi before like me and you were an operator, very handy that. I thought it was a really good idea. Saves having an operator's book in the back of the cab that gets sort of trampled and water damaged and muddy fingers through it and pages ripped out and all that carry on. So yeah, fair play to him. Hey, this fella's pulled a skip now in front of my van. Look. Where am I meant to go? Yeah. Right, I need to go down South Cumbria now to a 225. Doosan. Devlon. Doosan, Devlon? Can't remember what it is. It's in its winter clothes now, look. Ugh. Thought I'd just have a wander around, make sure that my number plate's still visible. Which it is. So we'll continue on with the day. The inside of my van currently smells like a farm shed, mixed with a very sulphurous, eggy smell. Thanks to the gear oil that was in that 27 yesterday and the location of that 27. Brings back a lot of memories. When I was at my old spot, I would occasionally go and service Manitou telehandlers on farm yards, and that's how your van would just generally smell for most of the time. So it's bringing back happy memories, but not altogether pleasant at the same time. Anyway, South Cumbria bound, let's go. So we've got a 225 and occasionally it just stops, just switches itself off. Well, the engine cuts out. I've been told it's like you're turning the key. So we're gonna put my battery on life support. Usual scenario. We're gonna get ourselves comfortable in the cab look. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, it's got that stop thing look. I'll have to remember that. Yes, I'm gonna have a look at this. Going by the error codes stored, we've got all sorts of. We've got 3 error codes. Look, I'll show you. Failure log. These are the ones that we're interested in. That one there, that one there, and that one there. So, as you can see, we haven't got an occurrence time of when they all occurred, which is totally normal for an engine code, but the laptop will tell me when they occurred. So we need to know which error code we are chasing. Remarkably clean, this 225 in here. Normally when they come in here they get a bit filthy. I've just been sat reading the diagnostic troubleshooting for some of these error codes, and just now the engine's just started surging. Look. I wonder, can you hear it outside? Hang on. Can you hear that? So I have read through all the different troubleshooting guides for all 5 error codes, and the common denominator is the rail pressure sensor, with exception to basically saying that the PRV is open. PRV is open. The PRV would open if you were to disconnect that pressure sensor from the fuel rail. There's the fuel rail, PRV at that end, rail sensor at that end. You disconnect that, the metering unit or the M-prop, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't know what the pressure is, so it just goes bang, full pressure, have it, and then the PRV opens. It's either that or the pressure sensor isn't reading the correct pressure. So the metering unit gives it more pressure, and then it reads the right pressure, and the PRV opens. Either way, the PRV has been open or classified as open, because we can see that it is counted 4. I know you lot love looking at my nice clean laptop screen. So these DL06s do have a little bit of a habit of not having a very good connection on the rail pressure sensors. So I'm gonna go and have a look at that first, I think. Put the bucket there, I think we'll be alright. Turns out I have a pressure sensor on my van. I have said pressure sensor disconnected. Looking at those pins, can you see the shiny metal bits there protruding in the way? Hang on, I'll try and zoom it in. There. I've just squeezed them in a bit to give it a better connection. Because because that's what I've been told to do many a time by my colleagues when there's real pressure sensor faults on these Dash 7s. I'm just going to build the plug back up. But I've also heard of these sensors being bad, and I've got one anyway, so I might as well pop it on. Because I'm all the way down here, aren't I? And I've got one there. So that's what I'll do. I'm sure when I service this, I had a look at it for a similar problem, but I think I was convinced it was a fuel filter blocked. This fellow just got it from an auction and he wanted it sort of fully serviced, so I seem to remember there being a bit of a fuel issue. Right, I've installed the new sensor. A couple other bits I just want to alter as well while I see it. So this AMS flow sensor here comes over the top of this harness, and it just looks really unnatural when that's plugged in there like that. It's kind of pulling, so I'm just gonna reroute that under here so that's a bit more natural for it. And another thing that I've snipped these cable ties for is this harness, although it's not broken through, is sat against here. So when I cable tie it back on, I'm going to cable tie it there, so it's miles away from that. Just the little things, you know. Sensor's all done, but just as a precaution, I am going to pull that fuel filter off. Try not to damage it in the process, like. And just check that we've got no blockages in the filter head. Because I haven't looked, but it hasn't got that fuel heater in there, which is where it would block. But I'm just gonna check it just to be safe. Dot the I's, cross the T's, all that good stuff. Can I get this off without damaging it? I've got a new filter with me, like, if I need to fit it, but it's tight. They always get tight when they mount them next to the radiator. I don't know why it is, but ask any of my colleagues, and they all say the same thing. They're always tight. Yeah, you can see there's nothing. It doesn't have a rubber flap for stuff to get collected on this, so therefore there's nowhere for it to block up other than in the filter. I know I fitted this filter. I think this filter's got about 200 hours on it. There's nothing in the ball. Quite happy to refit that. So I'll do so. Oh, it's going to be easy with two hands. I'll put you down. Okay, we're all bled up. I think I'll go over to that heap of stuff where wagons have been tipping and just have a bit ratch around, see if I can get it to throw an error code up or not, as the case may be. Yeah. Get rid of this extension cable. Okay. Machine has just cut out on me. Problem not fixed. Didn't put an error code on though, it just went. Oh, is it because I'm nearly out of diesel? Didn't check the fuel level before I set off. Nothing in the real-time codes. Failure log. 744. They're all the same as well. Interesting. I'm fairly level, like, so I can't be that out of fuel. Did I turn the ignition off before I set off? No, look at that. Got no power there, look. Should be no reason why that shouldn't buzz. Surely. It might be a power problem, like a bad wire somewhere. Might be. Have any work lights? Looks like it. I can see one on the cab. There's two, beacon. This is very strange. So maybe it isn't an engine fault that we're looking for here. There was another code in here that's happened a lot of times, but I very rarely pay them any attention. Failure information. It was on 128. If it's on 129, then it could be. No. No, it was on 180 hours, sorry. VRY. Back buzzer relay, that's the backup buzzer relay. ECU errors happened twice, but that happened at 10 hours, probably during a, I'm going to say ECU update, so that isn't it. I haven't caught that switch down there. With my knee, with my leg, there's the emergency cut-off switch here, which would switch the machine off. It did kind of like stop, like the engine just died a death. And it dropped all the way down to like 500 RPM, then picked itself back up and then just went, ooh. Switch the ignition off. It's gonna work better. Ah, very odd. Very, very odd. Aye, customer's just been over and I was talking to him. And I was saying to him like, oh, that's why I quite like coming here if we've got a problem like this. It doesn't matter whether I go and have a dig about on that or go and have a dig about on this. I haven't got to worry about what's in the ground or out like that, and you can, work the machine. It's all well and good digging fresh air, but it's just not the same as mucking about, is it? And he says, well, I'm pleased it's happened to you because it's the weirdest thing. And he said, I bet you if you turn it over now, it'll sound as though there's no fuel there for it. And sure enough, I did. I chowed it over for a couple of seconds and there was no there. So it is the strangest thing. So we're going to see what and if we've got any rail pressure, and we can also see if the relief valve's jumped off its seat, or the machine thinks the relief valve's jumped off its seat, because remember it was 4 occurrences last time. So that's the current engine hours there, 3780, and none of these errors are any close to 3780. Very odd. We'll go to data monitoring now. And we'll have a look at the rail pressure on cranking. Oh, it is there. So we've got 48 bar at the minute. We need 250 to start. Let's go. Oh. Look at that. What's happened there? PRV opening counter, that's still at 4. I think I'm going to keep this laptop in here. If I put it behind the seat there, I'll just set it off recording. And I'll just keep on chugging away with it. Switch it off. I've got all these error codes saved, so I know what all error codes I've got. Might clear them. See what comes back when it does just stop. shouldn't I reset the PRV? No, I'm not. Yeah, then I think we'll go to data monitoring and we'll record how the machine performs as I scrap about on here a bit. Don't know. Do not know. I've put nearly an hour on this digger now. Although we do have an error code detected, it never popped up on here. I presume that's when it cut out, although I deleted the codes after it cut out. I didn't feel it bogged down or die of death or anything while I was working it the last time. So at least it gives us something to go to. So that is one of the codes that had occurred previously. 1039, rail pressure gradient jump positive by sensor signal noise. Battery voltage is unstable. Now that does seem a bit odd. I wonder if that switch back there is working again. Loose connector of rail pressures, sensor or ECU. Faulty wire harness, could be. That wiring on the back of there doesn't look fantastic. Faulty rail pressure sensor. Well, it's got a new sensor on it, so you'd like to think it wasn't that. First job I'm going to do, if I'm getting in and out of this van looking at wiring diagrams, is get rid of that before I tip it all up the inside of my van. So what I'm going to do is check continuity. I'm going to get continuity but I can check. I suppose there might be a resistance between the rail pressure sensor and the ECU. The ECU is just in there, look. Plug number 5, pin 22, 23 and 34. Get rid of that first though. Before I go much further, I'm just gonna, because the fuel tank's fairly low, you might as well have a look in here and you can see, hopefully, that fuel tank is immaculate. There's zero muck floating around in there. It is as though when it cut out over there and I went to try and restart it without the laptop on it, it was just chewing over. As though the fuel was blocked. But it isn't. I'm 100% sure of that. I've just been on the phone to my colleagues and this is all blow back to the tank, which I could easily do there. Suppose then I'll be able to see if anything pops up out of that standpipe. That's fairly quiet and I don't know whether I maybe just couldn't hear it when I was over there and there was that wash plant running. Oh, I'm really baffled by this. I am. You can see I'm about to strip this plug down for the ECU and have a look in there. That I might just quickly blow down there first. I feel like I'm all over the place because it's late in the afternoon now. I came down here to have a quick look at that and then do a load of Lola certificates on the rest of the machines, but 10 to 4 now. I think I might be back down here tomorrow at this rate. You see in there, immaculate. Back together. I think we've got an electrical problem now. I really do. I had a look back in the tank and there's nothing blown back that would be sat in the pipe or caught in this tap down here. Weirdest thing, the operator, I don't know if I've told you this, but the operator said that when it did it with him, you try to start it after it cut out, it would just chow and eventually it would go. Or you'd have a few goes at trying to start it and then it would fire up and then it would cut out almost immediately, and it did it like 6 or 7 times on the bounce with him. If you just left it, walked away, went and had a cup of tea, came back, You're right. Which is strange, isn't it? You'd say it was fuel contamination. Pulling the pins out the ECU plug now. Checking them. That's a black one. There's the black one up here. Come on, Wyatt. I've done the orange one. Black one is here. That's beeping out all right. And go back in. Thought I'll put it back to work and see what happens, but I've also got a funny feeling I didn't turn the fuel back on. Nope. That is exactly what it's like though. That would do that. Oh, I'm getting towards the end of my day. It's running out of diesel as well, so I'm probably gonna end up taking a gulp of air when I try and do something with this in a minute or two. I should maybe get them to diesel it up and come back tomorrow. Maybe. Try again in a minute. Put some lights on. Done another half an hour. Never batted an eyelid. Must be running on fumes now. You never know, I might have disturbed something. Everything might be alright. It might do a week's work. Might start it up tomorrow, do 15 minutes and it conk out. I don't know. I really don't. Yes. I need diesel and AdBlue as well. Forgot about that. Wonderful. Oh, here we go. Right. Spoke to the boss man. We're going to pencil him in for Thursday to return. Do some Lola. I mean, there'll be half a day's worth of Lola tickets to do. That gives them time to have a bit, get some hours underneath that 20 tonner, and then once I've finished Lola I can jump on it and muck about with it if I need to. So look forward to that next video. Right, I'm going home.